In the last few years, Anonymous have become the most famous internet hacking group out there, receiving the most media exposure and covering topics that relate to many people. Due to how things are in the world right now, the group has seen a substantial backing from people who share the same views as them, and this has led to many anonymous accounts opening up to share insights into what's happening around the world right now. Anyone can claim to be part of Anonymous. A few days ago, an account posted an interesting article detailing that a massive food facility is opening up in Canada and that it will employ around 60 workers and will rely heavily on artificial intelligence that will help manage the workload. It's fair to say that not everyone was entirely pleased with this news, as the account then went on to detail that the food in question is crickets, with Canadian officials saying that people will now get to enjoy this tasty food. The individual reported that Canada is now home to the world's largest cricket farm, with the anonymous account posting the following statement that was released from the construction firm. They said the following: "The world's largest cricket production facility is officially complete. Aspire Food Group's new plant in London, Ontario is ready to produce 9,000 metric tons of crickets annually for both human and pet consumption." The anonymous account, along with users in the comment section, appear to be thinking the same thing, with one user saying the following: "Why are they making out like this is big news, and as if people asked for this? I've been alive for 37 years and I've never heard anyone say they want to eat crickets. I just can't imagine how this process was even started, and I don't think people will be rushing to buy these." As of right now, the company has won the Developers Award from the United Nations, and this was for commitment to sustainable development goals. As the account went into further details, people soon started to realize why this was happening. The food company responsible for this said they already have orders for the next 2 years, and said that around 4 billion crickets will soon be transferred to the facility and will be prepared for consumption. The reason they're doing this is because as of right now the cost of food is on the rise, and the company hopes that they'll be able to mass produce crickets for the general public. Many people didn't like these comments though, with one user saying the following: "So let me get this straight. Billionaires buy up farmland, buy vegetables and all the food that are good for humans and their health, and instead of making this food more affordable for everyone, they decide to hoard this land, and now because food is too high we literally have to eat animals that are known for transferring parasites to other animals. I don't understand how we live in a time where you can have someone who's worth billions of dollars, can travel and buy any house in the world, and can buy up hundreds of thousands of acres of farmland, while 99% of people have to work into old age, can't afford housing and now can't even afford to eat healthy food. Is this a glimpse into what our future is going to look like?" The company continued by saying that they're happy with their facility, and that their systems have been recognized by the International Research Center for Artificial Intelligence, a subset of the United Nations Education, Scientific and Cultural Organization. Mohammed Ashur, CEO of Aspire, said the following: "A growing population and increasing demand for food and material requires sustainable, scalable solutions. We are honored that the International Research Center for Artificial Intelligence saw the value in AI solution, which will accelerate the world's transition to sustainable ingredients and materials through insect technology. This isn't the only location that's testing this new type of food. In fact, scientists and researchers have said they're planning to feed bugs to children between the ages of 5 and 11, and that they'll be testing this in 4 primary schools in Wales. The insects will be made up of house crickets and mealworms, further saying that they're also going to blend up these insects and create a bolognese. The team of scientists said that all of this food will be made from insect protein, and they're hoping that this will encourage the kids along with their parents to move away from meat protein. The project, led by scientists from Cardiff University and the University of the West of England, They've said they'll be going into schools and surveying the primary school children to find out their attitudes to environmental issues, noting that hopefully they can change children's mind about this food, and will look into ways that they can get them to eat it. One of the researchers said the best way to do this is by getting into the schools early, and changing young minds on traditional foods, and opening them up to the world of insect protein. Dr. Christopher Bear from Cardiff University's School of Geography and Planning said the following: "Young people's voices are becoming increasingly prominent in discussions on environmental futures and animal welfare. Their highlighting of intensive livestock farming greenhouse gas emissions has been especially high profile, but there is still little research on how these values translate into food consumption attitudes and practices among children. This research project is an opportunity for us to find out how young people of primary age envisage the role of edible insects and plant-based proteins in more sustainable and ethical food futures." This user said the following: "I must be old because I remember in school I used to eat vegetables. All jokes aside though, it must be really tough to be a young person. It feels like by the time these people are 30, they're exhausted, they're tens of thousands in debt, and can't afford mortgage payments or rent. And on top of this, people's wages aren't increasing with inflation, and now they're being told they have to eat insects. It makes me wonder how much longer all of this can go on." Or this user said the following: "I can understand some of the comments that have been shared here, but perhaps this is a new alternative that will be more affordable for everyday families. At first glance it doesn't look good, and I'm not sure if it will catch on, but I'm at least willing to give it a try." US officials have said that they're impressed with what Elon is doing in regards to rocketry, with them saying that they see a future in which the US military and SpaceX can work together. The Pentagon has detailed that Elon's rockets could help the US military when it comes to combat, outlining that these rockets could be used to deploy a quick reaction force, which would help them deflect enemy attacks. Interestingly though, these comments weren't made public, but were rather gathered by documents obtained by the Intercept via the Freedom of Information Act. The United States Transportation Command, or US Transcom, revealed that it was partnering with Elon and SpaceX's rocketry, and that they were looking at whether or not it would be quicker to travel through space to launch supplies rather than flying through the air. The idea behind the project was that US Army generals wanted to be able to launch a cargo plane anywhere in the world, and wanted to do this in less than 60 minutes. The document reads as follows: US Transcom exists to project and sustain combat power at a time and place of the nation's choosing. The command seeks opportunities to evolve for tomorrow by testing new concepts and making wise investments in innovative transformational capabilities. This allows the US Transportation Command to position the joint deployment and distribution enterprises to create multiple options for nation leadership and multiple dilemmas for potential adversaries. The traditional distance-driven challenge of on-time worldwide delivery is increasingly complicated by the urgent pace of warfare in an era of contested environments and instantaneous sophisticated cyber threats. The command has identified that common user commercial point-to-point space transportation may provide a unique and disruptive capability that allows it to better support global deployment, employment and sustainment of forces. The US Transportation Command Cooperative Research and Development Agreement, CRADA 20002, was established between the Command and Space Exploration Technologies Corporation for the parties to investigate commercial space transportation capabilities as a transportation mode to expedite global delivery of Department of Defense material and personnel. The Cooperative Research and Development Agreement explores 7 objectives. Investigate the technical feasibility of using SpaceX's Starship launch system in the next 5 years to support DoD global logistics transportation requirements. Investigate the use cases criteria for choosing space transportation over other modes, responsiveness, supply chain integration principles, risks and military advantages of using SpaceX's Starship to meet DoD global transportation requirements. Project the cost of using SpaceX's Starship to deliver DoD cargo and personnel over the next 5 years, and compare to current transportation capabilities. Investigate the viability of and innovations for the government and SpaceX entering into an agreement, and for space transportation capacity with similarities to the Civil Reserve Air Fleet. Predict industry space transportation capabilities for the next 5, 10, and 15 years. Develop concepts for control of space transportation capabilities and implications for space traffic management and domestic international space use policies and protocols. Deliver a roadmap to demonstrate configuration, loading, launch and recovery of DoD cargo on SpaceX's Starship. A synopsis of the current state of research to address stated research objectives are listed below. SpaceX's Starship and Super Heavy booster, collectively known as Starship, is still in development. The selection of space transportation will likely be chosen through consideration of strategic messaging, priority of movement and speed. Additionally, standardization may be required across airlift and space transportation modes to enable shippers to obtain mode-neutral rapid delivery. Additionally, normalization of PTP space transportation provides an opportunity to enter an agreement for surge space transportation capacity similar to the CRAF. Commercial and government demand for space transportation enables higher launch rates that reduce costs. Foreign demand for launch services to include satellite launches may drive overseas infrastructure development that can cause global PTP space transportation. US Transportation Command, existing transportation service models that utilize the set rates, and the Transportation Working Capital Fund provides a basis for space transportation as a new mode and method of transportation. The current set of space laws and arms controls agreement were formed from the treaties, and international customs devised during the Cold War in order to define the legal boundaries of general space activities, attempts to prohibit the weaponization of space, and regulate ballistic missile development and testing. The current set of space laws and arms control agreements are applicable to commercial PTP space transportation, and may require revision to address commercial PTP space transportation. Aviation experts have said this is one of the ways that the US Transportation Command, which is part of the Pentagon, will gain the upper hand in regards to space technology, and also international relations. It's important to note that as of right now, no actual warfare is known to have taken place in space, but researchers have noted that throughout the years countries have carried out tests in space. As mentioned in the document, international treaties do exist that are placed there in order to regulate and stop conflicts in space, and that are designed to limit the installation of space weaponry systems. The document highlights that space launches would primarily focus on transporting military cargo, but the Pentagon has also said that it would look into sending military personnel into the stratosphere. The document reveals 3 potential uses of space transportation for the US military, including the following: an alternative method for logistics delivery in the event of a conflict with China in the Pacific, deployable air-based shelters that could be dropped anywhere on the globe for the US Air Force, embassy support scenarios in which SpaceX rockets could be used for a quick reaction force. This is if an embassy is ever attacked. So what do you make of these recent announcements, and how the Pentagon is looking to team up with SpaceX? Be sure to leave your questions and answers in the comments section below, and help us to grow this community while working to solve these unexplained mysteries. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.